And we're back. Welcome to another episode of Oleh at Large, Aliyah Stories. This is David Levine, and I am really excited to have a special guest today. So, I happened to go to this really terrific session that was put on by the TLV Fest, which is the LGBTQ film festival. It was a session with Deborah Messing, giving her an award, and she was interviewed by a very engaging young woman who as soon as I saw her, I said, I got to have her on my podcast. So, welcome to Aleeza Chanowitz. Did I get that right, the last name?
Yes, my brother says Chanowitz. I say Chanowitz, but yeah, it's the same
Chanowitz.
name. I do. I
It
say
is
Chanowitz.
Chanowitz. Okay. All right. Well, either way, Aleeza Chanowitz, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know you were there at the Q&A thing
I
with
was.
Deborah Messing.
I was. That's how I first
That's
encountered you because
oh,
I'm not yet an avid Israeli TV watcher because,
neither am I.
um, well, but you've had a show on TV, so we're gonna get into all that on this episode. So so you are originally from where?
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York,
Well, all right,
America.
fellow New Yorker.
Yes.
And how long have you been in Eretz Yisrael?
Um, in August, it was 14 years, I think.
Ah, okay. So you came over as a kid with your family.
As a kid, do you know how old I am? I was 21 when I moved here.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So I
okay.
guess to some people that's a kid. To me, I really had no idea what I was doing. It was kind of like
Okay,
hoping for
wait.
the
Scroll
best.
back. So first off, I thought you were much younger, obviously, because my
Oh,
math
thank
isn't
you.
that bad, and 21 is not a kid. So all right. So you made Aliyah on your own. You made the decision yourself, assuming at that age.
Yes.
So what made you decide to move to Israel?
What made me decide to? Well, I never thought I'd move to Israel. I also didn't grow up going to Israel. It wasn't something that we did. The first time I went was when I was 16. My grandmother took my father and my stepmother and I and my some cousins to Israel for the first time for Pesach. And that was fun. And then ended up coming that summer. But I don't know. It was just like, yeah, okay, cool, Israel. I've been there. And then when everybody was going, I went to Yeshiva Flatbush. And then when everybody was talking about the next year, gap year, people going for seminary or whatever, I was sure I wasn't going to go because I wanted to like start college and start a business, whatever that meant. I don't know what I thought at the time, like that meant to start a business. But somebody was like, "What are you in a rush for?" And I actually didn't have like a good answer. He's like, "What matters if you start college a year later or not? Why don't you go? There's this program in Israel in the Bar Ilan University, and it's not seminary. Like you don't, they're not as strict. There's not that
Yeah.
many studies of Torah stuff. You also get college credit, and so I went to that. This is like, the Seinfeld, like yada, yada, yada. And then I went to Israel, somehow figured that out. And I just fell in love with, first of all, the freedom of just being on my own and kind of figuring out who I was. And I really liked Israeli guys. I still do. So that's really the heart of it all. I just wanted to
So
marry an Israeli guy.
you
Marry
wanted to marry an Israeli guy.
is being
Amazing.
PG. Yeah.
Listen, you can be whatever rating you want to be on this show. It's up to you. Your kids are young; they're not going to listen to it. By the time they actually listen to this sort of thing, podcast will be a thing of the past. So
Yeah,
spill what you want to
absolutely.
spill. I'm sure, were having a great time at Barilan. And so, what did you do
So I
after?
wanted to stay. I had a great time, and I said I'll join the army and I'll stay. My parents were like, "Come home and do some paperwork, and then we'll see." So I went home, and I was really depressed that summer. And then I said, I really just got to get back to Israel. So I finished up my BA at Brooklyn College because I had college credit. So I finished it up within 2 years, and then I got on a flight and showed up in Israel. That's it. Here I am.
And did you get your 2000 hood straight away and all that, and did you go on a Nefesh B'Nefesh flight and
Yeah, Nefesh B'Nefesh flight with the full. I wanted to go where the whole plane was, not just because it was like exciting, but because they also took care of like bureaucracy stuff there. Like I wouldn't have to go to other offices if you're on the chartered flight. So it's really a practical more reason. And yeah, I had some friends here. I was in Jerusalem for the beginning. I lived by a family friend she was a single woman, and she had a space for me, and I felt comfortable. It was in like Malat Dafna, which is like a bit Haredi. But it was right when they were making the light rail in Jerusalem. So it was very easy for me to just get into town and back. And I kind of like was walking around being like, okay, I guess I moved here. Now what? Didn't really think this one through. But I didn't. The thing is, like, I know that in the back of my head, I always knew that, like, if things didn't work out, I have where to go back to. It's not like people who move from, like, a really awful, awful time, and there's no turning back. I had that privilege. So I guess that kind of, like, felt good. But I was on my own. My parents, like, didn't support me. They couldn't, pay for my rent or anything. So I kind of just, like, I don't know how I figured it out. I went to Wilpon, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll go to school. They pay for school. Then I found Sam Spiegel, which is the film school in Jerusalem. And I was like, maybe that would be fun. And I started working at a restaurant that I applied to this school. And then I got accepted. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll go to the school. And if it's not fun, I'll leave. It was very nice of me to like go along with the flow. And it really has helped me because I just didn't know what I was doing. I guess I was optimistic.
And at some point you meet your husband.
When I finished film school, when I was at the end, he also went to film school. He went to Tel Aviv University. And I went to Sam Spiegel, which is like really, they're small classes, and you're with the same like 20, 15, 20 people for 4 or 5 years. So you all help each other out on each other's projects. And then another project in like our final year with like the graduation film, someone from my class who was producing it was like, he needed, it's like logistics. So he brought a friend of his who also knows film to help out in the set. And that was my husband. And I just thought he was really cute. And I was like doing all kinds of weird things to get his attention. And everybody noticed but him.
What were some of the weird things you were doing to get his attention?
Something that I thought was very charming, and I think part of me still thinks is like, I really like the album Arba Achrei Tzoraim, which is like a collection of like old Israeli songs. There's like a bunch of different volumes. So I would like sing these old Israeli songs. He didn't know them, so he wasn't impressed, Then I asked to like wear his coat. I was walking around wearing his jacket, and then like somebody was giving out massages, and I tried to give him a massage. Like it was just like I was like a peacock, like look at me, and everybody else noticed but him. Yeah, it's funny because
how'd you finally get his attention?
Well, the shoot was 5 days. I was there on the first day. That's when I saw him, and I was like, he's cute. I just wanted to have sex with him. I didn't really want anything else. I was after a relationship like that with some crazy guy. And then I was there also on the last day, and I asked him if he was coming back for more days, and he was like, no, I'm just here on this day. And then the last day of shooting, I show up, and all of a sudden he walks onto set, and he's like, yeah, my friend told me he needed more hands, so I ended up coming today. And I was just like, wow, thank you, God. Like, this is a sign. Again, he didn't really notice what I was doing. But then the next day, I texted my friend from my class, and I was like, what's his deal? Like, he's cute. And he's like, yeah, I'll send him your number. And I was like, don't send him my number if he's not going to call. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And then he texted me. And I was like, oh, what a bum. Like, he couldn't even call. And he was like, what's up? And then I said, come meet me. And we met on dates. 2 months later, I broke up with him because he was too nice. And then my friend was like, what's wrong with you? Like, what do you want? Like, he's nice. You thought he was an asshole, and then he's nice. So what do you want? And then, like, how do they say in Israel? Like, nafala simon, or what is it? The penny dropped.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I really, like, that's what I want. I want someone who's mean to me. Like, what's wrong with you? So I thought it was like a week later. It was really like 3 days later that I like called him again. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I just thought about you, which is also like chutzpah. But he's like, yeah, me too. Let's meet up again. Let me talk. And then that was it. And here we are 2 kids later.
Amazing. And
it's nice, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a local guy and a local Israeli guy.
He's born and raised in Tel Aviv.
Wow. So how
OG.
has that? How OG? He's OG TLV. So
Yeah.
how is that? Like, was there a challenging bringing together of the two worlds? Does it still rear its head, or have you?
No, he before he dated me, he dated can I say shiksa in a nice way?
Yeah.
Not a not Jewish girl from Australia for about 3 years. So it wasn't his first time being, I guess, we all have a type. I'm into Israelis, he's into foreign girls. No, I think the only thing, which has nothing to do with him being Israeli, but more a question that also like friends of mine now who are single are looking for someone, is that I come from a religious background. He comes from a completely secular background. And then it's like, it's an issue when there's kids involved because I go, what kind of school am I going to send them to? And I'm really pushing that off because my kids are in Ghana and it's like, you just send them wherever. But that's, I still got time to worry about that. But that's when I think the questions are like, where do you draw the lines? What are the things you do? What do we do in our house? What do we do in other people's houses?
Right. Yeah, definitely becomes more challenging when you have the school decision to make, and then
you have
when
to be a role model.
Yeah, if there's inconsistency with school and at home, and then other kids, and it's a whole mishigas. Yeah, I know the drill. I know the drill. So, all right. So you are. Tell people now what you do, because a lot of the folks that listen to this podcast live in America and don't necessarily get access to Israeli TV. So, give us the highlights of your career and your latest hit production.
Well, I feel most days like I am a housewife, which is fine, I guess, if I had chosen it, but I'm still waiting. My youngest is 7 months, so I really should cut myself some slack. But I'm the creator, writer, and lead actor of the show Chanshi, Chanshi, on Hot. It came out in 2022. It's about an oleh chadasha, and it's a comedy.
How many? It's amazing. So you created a TV show. How did you sell that in? Because you had also been an actress, and you were in a couple of shows before that.
So I went to film school. I didn't study acting. It's really fun for me, and I like to do it. And if someone thinks about me for a role, then I'm always in. But so I had gotten previous roles on things because I had met the people, and then they saw that I acted in my own graduation films, and I kind of fall into this like niche, like the American girl in Israel. So people knew me from Hamifakeret. What do they call in English? I don't know.
What is Hamifakeret? Dismissed, I think.
The army. Dismissed. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm only in season 1, so if you watch past that, don't look for me. But at the time I was also acting that. I was working on my show, and I worked on my show for about 5.5 years. And I really just this kind of goes back to like, let's see what happens. I really had a lot of mazel. I think most people will come up with an idea and then submit it and try to get, to the networks and get some, or a producer and try to get it approved and move on to development. For me, I had done 2 short films in when I was in film school that I acted in that had like similar themes of like the oleh hadasha, like the world. Mm-hmm. And it got to Mirit Tubi, who's in charge of dramatic content at Hot. And she invited me for a meeting, and I really had no idea who she was. So I was just like, all right, sure, someone's going to pay for my coffee. I was just, I was eating a lot of tuna back in the day. And she was like, did you ever think of doing a series? Now, this is 2017, I think. Series, like TV and film, was just becoming like kind of level. Like, it's like just as good quality-wise. But I'd gone to film school. It's like, you want to do a film. But I was like, sure, this is a job. I'm just going to like go with it and be like, yeah, I have so many ideas. I really want to do a show and kind of fake it till I make it. And that's really how it started. I was quite scared about having to write 10 episodes of, well, originally it was 12. And because of money, we had to cut it down to 12. But 10. But it was kind of daunting. I was like, all I've done up to now was write short films. And my mother-in-law was like, think of it as writing 12 short films. I was like, okay, that's one way to look at it. And it ended up happening. Yeah, it was good advice. And also, like, things take time. Like, back then I was really, really, concerned about getting it done. And it's really a miracle that it happened, because sometimes, you work on a show and they just drop it. In America, they'll even film something and then just drop it. But I really needed it, because I was like, this is my only job and this is my calling card. And if I want to stay in this industry, this really needs to work out. And it happened. And then I, gave birth. So I've been doing that. But since the show, I've, realized like I have like 10 projects going on at the same time, everything in a different stage, because you never know which one's actually going to happen, which one's going to get funding.
Yep. Do you have an agent?
Yeah, I do, but it doesn't. Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah.
They're not like calling me and be like, here are jobs.
Right. Okay. Well.
It's like if I have a job, they're like, we're going to ask for money and figure out the contract.
How to get it. Yeah. So I understood. So, and that led to you doing your show. And Henry Winkler was in your show. Is that right?
Yeah. He was in about 2 episodes. Henry Winkler and Caroline Aaron.
How did you cast Henry Winkler, and what was he doing in Israel at the time that you? Well, I'm assuming it was you shot him here or somewhere else.
No, here. He came here. It was like Corona time when we were filming. A lot of crazy things were going on, and a lot of people were out of work and looking for opportunities. And Israel during Corona was like one of the like most safest places. Yeah, so you could, like, get away with shit. Like, you could do things. Like, you could leave your house. And so the directors of the show, Aaron Geva and Mickey Trieste, they're like a duo. And Aaron in particular is really into celebs. And he was like, let's try to get someone to play your dad. And he made a list. Okay, this is all, like, before October 7th, okay? It's for all the people who are like, what anti-Semitism? But he made a list of all of the people who could play my dad, like, age-wise, who were Jewish. And then from that list, he cut down to who does not hate Israel. It's a very short list, and Henry Winkler was at the top. And we reached out, and I think for him it was like he'd never been to Israel. We got sponsors and to take him around and see, and also Caroline Aaron, who was in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So they both were into it, and they came. They were really professional. I think we shot for 2 days with them, 2 or 3 days. It was great working with them. But even though I
Right.
had this name, I wasn't able to get the show sold in America yet.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
who has the distribution for it? Hot.
I
Hot
don't
has
know, but yeah, hot. But I'll tell you what, I've gotten a lot of great feedback. I think though, like from people who could be buyers, but it's really hard to sell something now that the opening scene is a girl making out with IDF soldiers on a tank.
Right.
Like you got to get someone who's like, I don't care. Like I mean, no such thing as bad publicity, right? Like let people hear about my show, but it's a hard
Exactly.
sell.
Yeah. No, I hear you. We'll talk offline because actually I have a small idea for you.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So now, were you also? I'm looking at your IMDb profile, and it also lists you at, under Bad Boys.
Oh, well, I actually didn't watch it because it's like cringe for me to watch myself. But I was in, I'm in the parts of like the present day. I play his girlfriend. I had like given birth, and I was, I don't know, I want
Ah,
to say on maternity leave, but there is no maternity leave when you're into,
an actor.
freelance.
Yeah.
So Hagar Benasher was the director. She called me up and she's like, "Hey, next week we're filming something. I called the character Aleeza. Would you be down? Like, do you want to see the script?" Before she like, I didn't care. I was like, yes. I was like so excited to like get out of the house and like do something for myself.
Right.
Um, so I came and I did. It was like 2 days of filming, and I played his girlfriend. And I haven't watched it, but people are like, "Hey, I saw you in Bad Boy," so I guess I made the cut. Um,
You
That's
should.
what I'm saying.
Well,
Like, if they call me,
if
I'm down. She was my teacher, Hagar.
listen,
And
if you're only in a couple of scenes, you should definitely watch it because it's a really great show, and
yeah, I
yeah,
saw the first episode. Yeah, it was
yeah,
great. Yeah.
it's really good. It's really good, especially it's interesting. It came out at the same time as Adolescence, which
Right.
is also an amazing show, but it was like the perfect follow up. Angsty teenage boys, and
Yeah, it's amazing how these things happen. Like, it's like, what is everybody doing at the same time? It's like everybody's been working on these things for years. It's not like
right,
on
yeah,
on purpose.
no, exactly, exactly. Well, listen, things are in the zeitgeist, and
Exactly.
things get greenlit in waves. You see that all the time, also in Hollywood, where there's like remakes of the all of a sudden there's two movies about the Three Musketeers. At least you
Right.
used to see that. Maybe not so much anymore. Um, so, how did you get involved in the Deborah Messing interview?
Um, they called me a few days before. Someone else was supposed to do it. I think somebody from the staff.
Uh huh.
Um, and I think it was just like they felt like it was like they were exhausted and they wanted someone who had good English.
Right.
So one of the producers, she told me, she said she spoke to a friend of hers. She's like, we gotta find someone who has good English, who could do this. And someone suggested me. And then she's like, oh, that's a good idea. And they called me, and because I'm like in this stage where it's like I really need to make money or get a day job.
Right.
I'm like saying yes to opportunities. So I've never done any kind of Q&A before where I had to like do research on the person and like come prepared and like be a part of the show. So my instinct was to say no. So I said yes, I'll do it. Um, and it went really well because I met her like on the stage as I was doing the Q&A, and she has done this before, so I had a really good partner in crime. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't flailing there because she also knew what to do, so that was really nice. Um, and it's just funny. I'm supposed to be filming my first feature in December. I don't even have dates yet, but that's like, yeah, it's next month. We wanted to cast her for a role. I don't think it's gonna work out, but it was just funny how I kind of reached out to her 3 months ago. She turned down the role, but then we like meet again, and it's like, okay, maybe like something is bound to happen at some point. Who knows? The zeitgeist.
Exactly. Hey, listen, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
And so my next question was going to be, so what's next for you? So a film. That's amazing. Tell us
Yeah, I
about
kind
that.
of don't believe it myself, but I was working on a feature. Feature is like a full length movie, like an hour and a half for people who don't know what a feature is, because why would they? I've been working on this before I was working on Khanji, before I was doing the show, and then once I saw that Khanji was actually happening, and I had like dates and I had like serious work to do, I put the film aside. And then when I was done filming and editing the show, I came back to it, and I received a grant, and we're supposed to be shooting December. And it was based on my graduation film, Shabbos Kala. It's about two friends who are also like originally from Brooklyn and moved to Israel, and one of them went back to their religious roots, and then she's getting married, and the other one who went off the derech, OTD, is coming back to convince her that she's making a mistake and don't do it. And it all takes place the weekend before the wedding, so it's like the Shabbos Kala. So it's all like, her the bride's friends and her family
Right.
members are in this house. Um, it's a comedy.
So is it? It's a feature length version of that story.
Yes, yes,
Amazing. So if
yeah.
you are meant to be, so where are you shooting, and who's the director, and is
I'm
it
directing.
cast?
I'm not acting.
Nice.
There are. We're mostly done with the casting. I can't announce anything because I can't announce anything. Um, but there are like one or two roles that we don't know yet, which is why things, I guess, are up in the air. And it's supposed to take place in Jerusalem, but it's really expensive to film in Jerusalem, especially when a lot of the crew lives in Tel Aviv, and to go back and forth. And it's really, really low budget because it's impossible to raise funds, especially these days. Um, so it's like we're going to film somewhere closer to like central Israel, and maybe do like a day or two shooting in Jerusalem, kind of the exteriors
Exteriors.
to make it
Yeah.
look like it's happening there.
How long is the
Um,
shoot for?
well, if we're able, somebody's just like throwing money at us and we can get 12 days, that would be great. Right now it's around 10.
What's
Um,
the budget?
3 million shekel, which may sound
Okay.
like a lot, but
It's about it's $1 million.
oh yeah, well, the dollar is pretty shit right now,
Yeah,
but
the dollars.
yeah.
The dollars shit. Agree with you there. Cool. All right. I wish you a lot of mazel with that.
Thank
So
you.
so you are probably the most famous person that I've had on the podcast so far. So thank you very much. And you are also probably the person with the least social media, because you have no social media presence. And that is a choice, right? Tell me about that as a entertainer, as a person. Like, what's your deal?
It's a good question because I don't know myself. Um, Basically, I got a smart. I don't have a smartphone. I have one of those Nokias. When I made Aliyah, like it was just when everyone started to get a smartphone. They were really expensive, and I couldn't afford one. And then I started to see how everyone just walks around with their phones all the time. And I was like, yeah, I don't need that. It's fine. I have plenty of other things to distract me. So I didn't like. I have a Facebook, which I don't use often because I opened that in high school. But all the other apps that you need like a phone for, like Instagram or TikTok or whatever, like I wasn't on there, and now I'm like thankful that I wasn't on there because I'm sure that if I had been on there, I put a lot of stuff that one day I would like regret
Right.
being
I
there because I'm
completely.
planning on running for office. So
I
stop.
completely,
So
I completely see that for you. I completely see that in your in those Barilan days to have posted some really
yes,
stupid selfies, probably.
yes.
So yeah, no, I hear that for you, 100%.
And people don't forgive these days. They like really love to grudge. So
Oh yeah.
and and kind of wanting to do something that's like out in the public, like I don't do art. I don't do art house. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing something for a real niche audience. My ideal, whatever project I do, I want it to be mainstream. I want it to reach as many people as possible. So I am thankful that I didn't do that. But I am also right now at a point where I am thinking that I might have to be like, okay, the world is moving ahead. The problem is it's become now part of my identity. And then it's like, oh, that makes me special. And then I go, am I holding on to this because I think people look at it and go, that's so special. She doesn't have it. Good for her. And can I let that go? Because I think Instagram, for someone especially who's like me, it's like, forget about like maybe it could be lucrative if you do influencing, but it's also like put yourself out there, like it gives you exposure, like talk about my projects. Maybe someone will see my face and then be like, oh, why don't we audition her, or why don't we, like I don't know if I'm missing out more, like if I have more to gain by doing it than not. um and I wonder if like now I'm at the point where my kids are going to pay the price for me not doing it, and is that okay? And am I at the place where also I could control it more and be like, okay, I'm only going to do this like during the day when I'm with my kids, I'm not on the phone, and I'll be able to control it. you know it's a question, and I'm wondering right now if I'm supposed to like make this change.
Well, one thing you're able to do as an interim step, first off, I would have to say, just from an entertainment business point of view, it's definitely something that people look at when they are evaluating projects, when they're evaluating talent, is what is their social media footprint.
Yeah.
And the lack of one is not, in that respect, is probably not great, to be perfectly honest. And you're able to do it on a computer, so you can create your Instagram profile and create your social media profile and just have it on a computer and not have it on your smartphone. And so you take away, you only embrace the best part of it, which is using it as a vehicle to promote yourself, and you
But then I
you know
have to
you don't
talk
have.
to people also. Do I have to talk to people?
No, not really. I don't that much. I mean, I listen. I I have a social media profile for all of this, and I have my own personal. Um, and you choose who you engage with, and you can also. I mean, you also can potentially get someone to help you with it, and they wouldn't charge you all that much, or just even a friend or you know, a relative, a younger relative that might be cool to be able to
I'm the
do it.
grandma now. Yeah.
You're the grandma that needs help with the Facebook,
The
um,
Facebook, yeah.
and the Instagram. Cool. All right. So now we're gonna go into the questions that we like to use for social media, even though you're not on it.
Sure.
Okay. So, what is your favorite restaurant in Tel Aviv?
Oh, my favorite restaurant. I don't know. I love eating out. I would go to all the restaurants if I could. I'll tell you where I've been recently that was really fun and delicious. Uh, Kroot. Kroot, is that what it's called
Yeah.
in Habima? I think it's
Okay.
the same owner as Pere.
What kind of food is it?
It's a wine bar, and then they have like, I guess, what someone might call tapas or something,
Uh
like
huh.
small plates.
Yep.
I don't know. Everything I've had there was delicious. And they've got a
Okay.
lot of
Excellent.
wine.
Okay, what is the one piece of advice that you would give someone who is considering making Aliyah?
Don't bring shampoo.
We have shampoo here.
Now remember, there was like a whole thing about like people are like, the water is hard or something. And I was bringing the shampoo. I brought shampoo with me and I had like 3 suitcases. And I was like, what did I bring all this shampoo for? I don't know why. So don't bring
Don't bring
shampoo.
shampoo. Meaning, don't bring basic things because it's not a third world country.
Yes, it's like second world on a good day. I don't know. On a good day, it's a first world. It moves between. You know how it is.
It's an expensive first world because you really can get basically most things that you need,
Yeah.
and many of the things that you want, and the things that you can't get are probably not so important anyway.
Right.
Okay, cool. Falafel or shawarma?
Falafel.
Okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and where is your favorite touristy place that you still like to go to, even though you live here?
The Tel Aviv Art Museum.
Good one. Okay. And why the Tel Aviv Art Museum?
Well, now that I have kids, they have like shows for kids, and it's a good place to go on a rainy day. Like suddenly, it looks like even more options. Like yeah, okay, they have a great collection, but now I look at it from the perspective of like a mom, and I'm like, oh,
Amazing.
so glad this
Great.
exists.
Great. Okay. Last part of the podcast, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And thank
Okay.
you for so much time.
Sure.
I'm really just enjoying talking to you and getting to know you. Um, uh, every episode we have a word of the pod. So this is a slang word that is here in Israel. It could be Hebrew, Arabic, whatever, Yiddish, but a word that unless you live here, you probably have never heard it and don't know it. Can you give me a slang word?
I don't know if this is slang, but the word schle.
Never heard it before. What does schle mean,
No,
and can you use it
schle,
in a
I
sentence?
think, yeah, it's like, oh my God, make sure you wash that pacifier. It just fell in all the schle of the shook, all that shook juice. That's schle. It's
So it's
disgusting.
mess. It's mess.
I think it's not just a mess. I think it's
It's
like
gook.
yeah, gunky,
Got it.
mysterious shit.
Got it. Okay, got it. So, all right. So don't be touching the pacifier that fell in the sklat. Got it.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. I want to thank you so much, Lisa. It was so fun to talk to you. I wish you so much luck on the film and your career, and I really appreciate your taking the time.
Thank you for having me, and let's go be productive.
Yeah, let's do it.